Madame Titi walked deep into the forest. She followed a narrow path, pushing past thick bushes, stepping over tree roots, until she saw it, an old mud house with a small wooden door. The medicine man's house. "Madame Titi," he said in a slow, deep voice. "Why are you here?" Madame Titi licked her lips. "I want a love potion." If only they knew. If only the people who licked their fingers and wiped their mouths in satisfaction knew the secret of Madame Titi's kitchen, they would run and never look back. But they didn't know. All they saw was a clean restaurant. A neat eating area. Shiny wooden tables. Fresh white plates. The smell of perfectly spiced stew floating in the air. They saw the big pot of pounded yam sitting proudly on the counter, the crispy fried fish winking at them. And, of course, they saw her, Madame Titi, the biggest, roundest woman in the entire village. Madame Titi was not just fat. No. She was robust. She had cheeks so fat they looked like she had hidden 2 big balls of fufu in them. Her arms were thick like the trunk of an ancient tree. Her thighs were strong and white, and when she walked, her body shook like a mountain during an earthquake. She was the owner of Titi's Buka, the most popular local restaurant in the area. People traveled from far and wide to taste her food. Her soups were rich and thick. Her jollof rice, perfect. Her pepper soup. Oh! It could wake a sleeping man from the dead. Everyone loved her food. But no one, not even her one staff member, a tired-looking girl called Amoka, was allowed inside the kitchen. Because if they stepped into that kitchen, if they saw the truth behind the delicious meals, they would never eat in her restaurant again. Madame Titi knew this. That was why she guarded her secret fiercely. She made sure the eating area was always spotless. Not a single grain of rice on the floor. Not a drop of soup on the table. But her kitchen. Oh! Flies danced happily over half-rotten vegetables. Plates with old soup stuck to them were piled high in a corner. And the worst part, her enormous pet rat, which she called Pablo, ran freely across the shelves, tasting the ingredients before she used them. Yes, Pablo had good taste. Madame Titi trusted his judgment. If he sniffed the meat and turned away, she knew it was bad. But if he took a bite, oh! That meant the meat was perfect for cooking. And the customers? They had no idea. Every morning, they rushed in, eager to eat. Some even fought for a seat. But while they stuffed their bellies, Madame Titi was in the kitchen, tasting everything first. A spoonful of stew. A bite of goat meat. A sip of pepper soup. Oh! She loved to eat. She could finish a whole pot of food and still have space for more. And yet, with all her cooking, with all her eating, with all her riches from selling food, Madame Titi was not happy. Because no man had ever asked for her hand in marriage. Not one. They ate her food. They praised her cooking. But they never stayed. They never looked at her the way she wanted to be looked at. She was fat. She was too big. And no man wanted a woman who ate more than him. At night, when the restaurant was closed and the town was quiet, Madame Titi would sit alone, rubbing her fat belly, dreaming of a man, a handsome man. A strong man. A rich man. A man who would eat her food and never leave. And then one day, he walked in. A man so handsome, so well-dressed, so perfect that Madame Titi almost dropped the plate in her hand. His name was David. And he was about to change everything. David was not an ordinary man. He was young, strong, and successful. Tall like a palm tree. Skin dark like rich cocoa. Shoulders broad like a warrior's. And a smile that could melt any woman's heart. But most of all, David was smart. And that was why everyone respected him. David came from a good family. His father was a respected chief. His mother was a kind, wise woman. He was the eldest son, the one everyone looked up to. And he did not disappoint. He went to the best schools. He studied hard. He worked harder. And soon, he became a successful businessman. He had a big house, a shiny car, fine clothes that smelled of money. Everyone admired him. Every woman wanted him. But David was picky. He wanted a clean woman. A woman who was neat. A woman who was beautiful inside and out. And that was why he never ate in local butchers. He believed they were dirty. He believed they were for common men. And he believed he would never step foot in one. Until his friends convinced him. And that was the day his life changed forever. David's friends were his brothers from another mother. They had been together since childhood. They laughed together, fought together, celebrated together. And one thing they all loved was food. One day, they told David about a special buka. A place where the food was so sweet, it could make a grown man cry. David refused at first. "I don't eat in those places," he said. But his friends insisted. They begged. "Just try it once," they said. So, David finally agreed. And that was the biggest mistake of his life. Because that was the day he met Madam Titi. And from that moment, his life would never be the same again. Madam Titi had never seen a man like this before. David was tall. His skin was smooth like roasted groundnut. His shoulders were broad, and his white shirt looked like it had never seen a single stain in its life. He smelled fresh, like morning rain, and when he smiled, Madam Titi felt something she had never felt before. Her big, fat heart did bish bish inside her chest. She was in love.